If you're here to learn how to use Reverb perfectly, then you're in the right place. Let's begin. Before we start, a big thank you for the feedback that we have received from you. It is really appreciated and it helps us a lot. Our channel has even more videos on different topics like EQing, compression, or even theoretical stuff. And if you want to be notified when we post another video here, use the subscribe and the bell button. It helps a lot. And now let's head to our project. I've used this project before. I talked about vocal stacking, which is a very good technique to use in a lot of cases. I really recommend you guys to go and check that video as well. But we are here to talk about reverb, right? So the question is, how do we get the perfect reverb? I'm going to show you a very popular technique in which we modify only two parameters and we make the reverb be in time with our song. It also involves a bit of maths, but don't get scared, it's not that bad. So this is our reverb. I'm going to use Reverb from Waves, but this technique is not restricted to any specific plugin. In some cases, the plugins will do the calculations for you. And the parameters that we're looking at are the pre-delay and the reverb time, which in my case are right here. Now, these two are basically the fundamentals of reverb. The reverb time is how long you want the reverb to sound. Simple, straightforward. The pre-delay is how long you want the reverb to wait until it engages. So if this one is on 0, the reverb will start as soon as the vocal starts. In my case, it's on 49.9, so once the vocal signal kicks in, it will wait 49.9 milliseconds until it engages. Now let me show you how the vocal sounds solo and then in the context of the song. Well, if you can call it a song. So
let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired of waiting? We could leave this whole place behind. Yeah. Let's go, love. I'm saying, ain't you tired of waiting? We could leave this whole place behind.
See, it sits there nicely in time. It just fits the vocal perfectly. Now, the next question that arises is how do we calculate the reverb time and the pre-delay in order for our reverb to be in time with the song? We're going to use the BPM of the song, and I'll show you how. So I pulled out the calculator, and what we're going to do, we're going to divide 60,000 by the BPM of the song. In my case, it's 150, and it will give me 400, conveniently actually. Now, this number 400 is the fourth of the note. And using this, we're going to define both the reverb time and the pre-delay. And this is how we're doing it. For reverb time, we're going to take 400, which is milliseconds, or the fourth of the note, as I said, and we're going to multiply it by 2. Doing this once, it's going to give us the second of the note, or 800 milliseconds. Doing this twice, it's going to give us 1.6 seconds. And we do that until we get something that we like. In my case, I'm using a 3.2 seconds reverb, as you can see here. And for the pre-delay, we do it the other way around. We divide everything by 2. So I'm going to go back to 400. Doing this once, it's going to give us what? The 8th of the note. Doing it again, the 16th of the note. And again, the 32nd of the note, which is the pre-delay that I have used here. So this is how you get your reverb in time with the song. Only doing this is going to make a huge difference in the way your reverb acts in the song, in the mix, the way it creates space and ambience behind those vocals. It's going to sound right, but it's going to sound beautiful. And now let me give you some tips about how you can improve your reverb even more than that. Let's go back to the project. As you can see, the reverb is not on the vocal track. The vocal track is here. What I've done, I've made a send from the vocal track to an FX channel. What this does, basically, it will send a copy of my vocal, a copy of the signal, it will send it here, and everything will be processed here, only the copy. After that, I can adjust the volume of the processed copy straight here. Why this is helpful? This will give you full control over the reverb. For example, an EQ, which will only affect this FX channel. It will only affect the signal that comes out from our reverb. I'm doing this in order to cut the frequencies that I don't want to hear from my reverb, and I usually like to cut all the lows and a bit of the mids, and in this case I've also put a high cut up to 7K. And some people might argue that there are plugins out there like this Reverb, for example, which have an EQ integrated. Yes, true, yes, useful, but still you don't have full control over the reverb, because right now what I can do, I can put a compressor there, yeah, and what I can do with this compressor, I can sidechain it to the vocal. Yeah, I'm going to put like a stupid threshold, a big ratio, a fast attack, and a fairly fast release. And what this is going to do, this is going to compress the reverb a lot when the vocal is on. It will not interfere with it, and that's really useful a lot of times. What else we can do? We can add a flanger, for example. Yes, the flanger adds a really nice touch to the reverb. Obviously, I'm doing this quite random right now, but you got the idea. That's why I always recommend use your reverb on a bus or an FX channel, depending on what DAW you're using. Make it sound however you want it to sound. Play with it, experiment. Doesn't really matter what you're putting on your reverb as long as it is in time. It will sound great. And that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful.